Welcome to another edition of Wrestling Goons Radio. 420 Raw is what we are covering. I got Mark here with me today and a newcomer to the show, TJ. What's going on, TJ?
Nothing much. Just ready to get into this review because I have a lot of stuff on my mind after last episode of Raw.
That is what is up. That is what we need. We're going to jump right into it. Mark, go ahead and lead us off with the show.
Alright, so the show opens with Randy coming out, cutting a promo, saying that Seth is one of the dumbest bastards that he knows, and he doesn't need the RKO because inflicting pain is his greatest strength.
TJ, did you notice that Randy Orton had a lot of swearing going on in the opening segment? And what did you think, maybe, overall, when you first saw it?
When I first saw it, a part of me flashed back to the old days of Orton, like a little bit during Legacy, where you could tell his intensity was just that next level. And that's the level he had whenever he dominated the division and was heavyweight or WWE champion. So from what I'm hearing, he has what it takes to be champion. It's all a matter of how the match plays out, in my opinion.
Wow, so you actually think that he has a shot to win this match?
With all jokes aside, I think even without the RKO, he's still going to be that predator we know him to be. Because think about it like this: where the RKO is banned, there's always the possibility of the punt kick.
That's true. That's very true. Lots of possibilities. Mark, your thoughts on the opening segment?
Yeah, he came out with some intensity, and I'll get more into my thoughts of. I think that the entire locker room actually had a lot of intensity tonight. But, yeah, he cursed out a whole bunch, told Seth that he was going to RKO every SOB in the back. It brought me back to shades of Austin going just haywire and stunning everybody and everything like that. But, yeah, I agree that I think that Randy has the possibility of beating any person on that roster without the RKO.
Yeah, I completely agree that he has the possibility to do it. Do I think it's going to happen? And, I'll get into that on the prediction show on Saturday, but I really, Seth Rollins is top of his game right now. And while the RKO may be gone, from what we've heard, like we covered in the last episode, or maybe we didn't get to it, so this will be breaking news, the curb stop is also going to apparently be a limited move by WWE officials. So, yeah.
God. Don't remind me of that.
I know, man, and I don't understand why either. Apparently it's dangerous, but, there's a lot of moves that they don't let them do that I don't think are that dangerous. That'll be one of them. I guess we saw that modified DDT on Monday night. That's what he might be using now. They won't
that snap falling face buster that, like me, a lot of people realize that was a move that CJ Parker had before he started utilizing the palm thrust.
Yep.
I personally, when I heard the curb stomp was gone, I was hoping for God's last gift, to be honest.
Wow, that would have been nice. That
is like the safest move you could possibly have.
I mean, if I was going to pick one, like, randomly, that's pretty good, but I would want the Angel's Wings. I mean, the Angel's Wings isn't that bad. He could pull that off.
And if not that, he's always got that DDT finisher, Proxyism.
True. That's very true. Mark, where are we going next after the opening segment? Pretty much my thoughts. Like I said, everything what y'all said, Orton just felt like Austin, like Mark said. I felt like I was waiting on DX to one by one get picked off as the night went along. They did it a little bit better, though, because Orton would just pop up at the end of a match and just everybody catch one. That was awesome. I liked that. So Orton doing this is a whole hell of a lot better than Orton and the Authority. So kudos.
So next we have scheduled for Luke Harper versus Dean Ambrose. And we see Dean Ambrose come out first. Then we see Luke Harper actually talk.
Hey, TJ, man, what was your thoughts when you saw this match actually about to happen?
Well, kind of like the same surprise most people had when you heard Harper talk. I mean, I've heard him talk numerous times, whether in off-brand interviews, especially during WrestleMania week, and some of his old promos from his indie days as Brody Lee. But with his character now as Luke Harper, I was actually surprised to hear him talk at all. kind of made you think about how they showcased Abyss first talking in TNA. I was actually scared for a minute.
Yeah. Like, it actually gave me hope that they were about to do something with this guy. However, I know they're not. I know that he's just going to be the jobber for Dean because they don't have anything to do with either guy right now, which is really, really bothering me. Because Luke Harper, as you mentioned, is Brody Lee. This is another rant I wasn't going to plan on going on, but I'm just going to have to cover it. They mentioned that Cesaro is Claudio. They mentioned that Daniel Bryan is Bryan Danielson. They got no problem telling us that. They got no problem telling us that Dean Ambrose was Jon Moxley. But why will they not tell us that Luke Harper was a hell of an indie star? Like, why do they ignore that?
There's a lot of superstars they ignore depending on what steps they took to get there. Because you have to remember, they do the same thing to Solomon Crowe. They rarely bring up the fact that he's Sami Callihan. Same thing with Neville. They don't mention the fact that he's Pac. And we all know how they do with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but that's another time, another place.
True.
Their biggest thing is they're basing it off of where they came from. And for Luke Harper, pretty much Brody Lee and Luke Harper are the same character. The only difference is with Brody Lee, he was a lot more vocal and a lot more agile, but they're pushing Harper to be that silent, mysterious, almost methodical powerhouse.
I personally want them to be a tag team because I think they would be the most unstoppable tag team in WWE. You put Ambrose and Harper together, that'd be ridiculous.
That would be awesome, but I'm still hoping for the day they call up Solomon Crowe.
Oh, yeah.
He teams up with Crows, and we get the Switchblade conspiracy back.
I don't know if they're going to call it that because you know WWE is going to have to put their WWE merchandise spin on it, but they'll definitely turn it into some... You know, that's another thing that bothers me, though, is with the character Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley was a certified lunatic, and we all knew it. They're taking this whole Dean Ambrose lunatic thing way over the top to, like, kidding levels. You know what I mean? I hate how they watered it down.
I hate how it watered it down, but at the same time, the levels of insanity he's shown reminds me a lot of Flying Brian Pillman, and that is nothing but good things for Ambrose in his future.
Amen. Mark, your thoughts when you saw this going down other than Harper speaking, which obviously shocked everyone.
So, as far as the quote-unquote match itself, it ended in a no contest because it never really even officially got started, I don't think they ever actually rang the bell. But
Nope.
They fought out into the crowd. They had the spot where we thought that Dean was about to get powerbombed off the stage, reversed it into a DDT, and then he reversed it and threw Dean off the stage at the top. So obviously that's their payoff is going to be at Extreme Rules in the Chicago Street Fight. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah!
I don't know if that's really going to be the payoff or not, because they're probably going to get as much steam out of these two as they can get. And it's kind of crap because they know that they're going to put their bodies through crap. And what reward are they getting? Like, where's the pedestal for Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose? Because right now, I believe you can put Dean Ambrose in that picture with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins easily. I don't know what you do with Luke Harper. I don't know where you put the guy to make it make sense. But hopefully... Yeah, go ahead, TJ.
There's one big thing, like the moment you brought up the whole Rollins-Ambrose Reigns thing, there's one angle I've just been wrapping my head around ever since the Shield broke up, but I just need way more details in order to solidify that thought. Because it would be the greatest angle, I believe, in the current era of WWE.
If the Shield all face each other?
Yeah, if they all faced each other, but
Yeah.
not just that. Say down the line, Seth wins a match that solidifies him as a champion, and the Authority come and say, "Oh, you got everything because of us." And then they bring out Ambrose and Reigns, and it turns out, oh, it's been a whole shoot in progress. Because down the line, they said one member of the Shield would be champion while the Shield was together. They broke up to show descendancy, only to reform at their highest point.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to have to put them back together one day. I don't know when that would be. I don't know. I personally think they're going to try to get a WrestleMania main event out of it. I think you're going to get a triple threat with all three of them going at it.
I thought that was going to happen at this year's WrestleMania, but it didn't.
They just don't know what they're doing with Dean, man. He's lost, but hopefully they figure that out. What's the next segment on the card after this match?
So next we have Seth Rollins is backstage with J&J Security. He's looking scared, and then he gets ambushed kind of by the primetime players who laugh at him and mock him and everything. And then Seth says that he's going to RKO the next person he sees backstage, and then he runs into Triple H.
That was great. I'm marked out for that segment. Cause you knew when he said that, it was either I thought for one, I was like, oh crap, this is the return of Great Khali. Khali is gonna be standing back here in the back, and he's gonna be the next person we see, and I want to see Rollins get chopped. Thankfully, that isn't what happened. That was awesome. Seth is killing this role of being the scaredy cat heel, but when it comes time to man up, he'll man up. I'm loving it.
That's the greatest thing you can have as a heel, especially for someone of his size and of his nature.
So then also we have Triple H says that everything's going to be okay, but he does not like seeing his champ sweat. So it starts off the part that we get into later on in the night where we might see some division between Seth and the Authority.
Yep.
And then Seth asks Triple H and says that he needs more security because he doesn't think J&J can get it done. And Triple H tells him that Randy's just one guy.
Here's my question to you guys. How many weeks in a row now have we seen this promo when the Authority tells Rollins that maybe he needs to prove to them that he's the guy? I mean, we've seen this promo 1,000 times, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we got whenever Randy was the champ, though.
Pretty much. But, and it's like, that's the thing, like, give me something new, like, keep my interest. Like, honestly, guys, if we wasn't doing this podcast and I wasn't having to watch wrestling every week, I probably would watch Extreme Rules, because it really is a pretty boring card if you look at it from top to bottom.
The only interesting matches I've seen so far from Extreme Rules is the Chicago Street fight with Harper and Ambrose. And in all honesty, as much BS as I give him, I'm actually interested in this Rusev versus Cena match.
Yeah, and it's just the Russian chain match. And that's one match. That's one match.
It's just a Texas bull rope match.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, there's really good history with it. So yeah, I'm with that. I think Rollins is killing this heel thing right now. That's why he's got to keep the belt. But go ahead, Mark.
Alright, so next up we have the tag team match for the number one contendership for the tag titles between the Lucha Dragons and the New Day, where we get Xavier Woods and the Dusty finish at the end by the countout from Sin Cara.
If you don't know what a Dusty finish is, please go back and watch our last podcast we did, because we clearly did a whole episode over what the Dusty finish is. And the New Day used it to perfection because they have successfully turned their gimmick, which I hated more than anybody in the world, and didn't change anything about it other than turn it heel. And now every time they're out there, the crowd has to interact with them. They have to. They don't have a choice. Because you have to say it, New Day sucks when they start laughing. And they ended it with a great heel finish. And then, you know what? Lucha Dragons are so over right now that loss doesn't hurt them at all. Like, they didn't need that spot to be elevated that far just yet. So it was a win-win to me. I loved everything about this match. TJ, what do you think?
Pretty much the same way you're feeling. While I would have preferred Lucha Dragons to at least lose cleanly, this was not their time to be in the title picture just yet, just coming up from NXT. Whereas the New Day, they really needed to turn heel. When we first saw this formation, everyone's thoughts were, oh, a new version of the Nation of Domination, or they're going to be a great heel faction, just for them to be turned into this abomination that we've been seeing over the past couple of months.
But you know what, though? Who would have thought that they didn't have to change it and it would have worked? Because I didn't even think it would work even on a heel level. But somehow, like, Big E has become... He's nailed this thing, man.
Right. At best, I thought if they weren't going to turn it heel, it would be a slight tweener, whereas they would still get aggravated by the crowd, but they would still show signs of faces, and that's what they did for like a week or two.
Yeah.
But the fact that they turned fully heel, this is perfect for them.
Whenever they were in England and Big E dropped that line about being at the O2 Arena, and he said, "It's not America, but I guess it'll do," I died. That was it. I was like, they are over in my book from now on. That's great.
Right,
Yeah,
because you have Big E, who's actually played the heel before, so he wouldn't have a problem turning over. But the thing with Kofi and Xavier, they've never been in that position, especially Kofi, who's always been seen as that fan favorite. And the only time Xavier was a heel was back in TNA when he was teaming with R-Truth.
yeah. But Xavier's so smart that I think he can work a crowd really easy. The what I would worry about is Kofi, but I think Kofi has been held back for so long. He's probably got that heel in him, man, just ready to come out.
See, with his heel turn, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a title shot down the line.
I can see an Intercontinental for sure. All right, Mark. What do you think about this overall, the finish?
I thought the finish was great. I especially loved Xavier Woods on the outside, taunting them at every turn that he got. He even had a distraction moment. I can't remember if it was Sin Cara was on the outside, and he kept talking to them about the New Day
Yeah.
and how this is their time until he got drop kicked
Yeah.
by Kofi. He interacts with the crowd all the time. Big E with the crowd chanting, he claps right along, and I think the announcers even alluded to it. Big E, I think, is enjoying the heel run more than probably either of the other two.
Why would he not? He can use his charisma finally that they never let him use. Mark brought up a great point is whenever they do decide to break them up, if Big E brings back that 5 count, he is so over immediately, like it's going to be ridiculous.
And I'm glad you brought up them breaking up because that kind of segues into what Randy did when he took out Kofi and Xavier. I find it kind of odd how Big E didn't go in to save them, but you know what I'm thinking? With the newest addition to their roster in Uhaa Nation, if Big E chooses to leave, he could easily fill up the void within the New Day.
Absolutely.
Not only does he bring that powerhouse that Big E has, but he's just as agile, if not more so, than both Kofi and Xavier.
And that also, like you said, Big E kind of backed away from the RKO as if to say that, no, I'm too good to take an RKO. I'm not doing that.
Which is even more great because that gives Randy another person to go against. And Big E needs somebody. Not this New Day stuff is great, but Big E needs to stand out from the New Day, in my opinion.
And if he does break away, can we please give him back his last name?
And man, you know what? I went on this rant a couple of podcasts ago as well. I do not know why the hell people gotta have one name in WWE. I don't get it. It don't make any sense.
If it's not their last name, they take away their first name.
Yeah, either way, it don't make, like Neville, that's great, but, what are all with Adrian? Seriously. Alright,
What
Mark.
was wrong with Antonio?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that was my first complaint. I was like, it would be alright, like, if you debuted him as Cesaro and you trained me that way. Kind of like they did Rusev. Like, Rusev has always been Rusev. They didn't even acknowledge that he was Alexander at one point. Yeah, Cesaro, they told me for over a year and a half that his name is Antonio. And then one day out of the blue, I'm supposed to forget it? And it don't make no sense. Mark,
It really.
what we got next on the show, man?
So the next match that we had was Curtis Axel versus a newly face Fandango.
I tell you this. Alright.
I'm sorry, I have to get that out of my system.
No, man, hey, I wake up every morning doing it too. It's contagious. But I'll tell you what saddens me. The people, we're all happy with Fandango, and that's great, but we need to have a moment of silence, guys, because I have a feeling that Axelmania is losing its luster really fast. Curtis Axel had a great gimmick. It lasted for a great 2 or 3 months. WWE ain't gonna do what they always do with something great, and they're gonna kill it by just, not doing anything with it. The match was what it was. It was just a quick loss for Curtis Axel. It'll wait and get Fandango looking good by himself and get the crowd dancing. That was my thoughts on it. TJ, what you think?
I'm honestly happy that Fandango is being pushed like he is. I hope that he gets a singles title run in the future. I really do.
Mark, what were your thoughts on this quick match?
As far as Fandango, man, they took that away. They took his music away and put him with Rosa. I have no clue what they were thinking. Maybe that they wanted him to run as a heel and they couldn't do it as everyone fandangoing like worldwide. But I'm glad that they finally understood that he worked best as a face and gave him his music back. But yeah, Curtis Axel's being buried.
Yeah, buried ain't even the word for what's happening to Curtis Axel.
At least he's on TV.
Hey, you better enjoy it, because his days are numbered, I promise.
Let's not forget that Botchamania moment where they played his old theme before they realized they had to play his face theme.
Man, he's... Oh, God, I hate it, man. Like, they got a built-in gimmick right there with Mr. Perfect Son. You can just run that. You can call him Mr. Imperfect, but whatever. They're gonna miss the boat. What do we got next? By the way, Fandango, as far as being in the title picture, I can see it for sure. But every time the crowd gets behind this guy, every time, the WWE finds a way to screw it up, so I'm not going to hold my breath this time. I'm going to see what happens first.
So next we have Triple H coming out, and he announces the new Tough Enough. Talks about having a dream about being in the WWE and his mission to find the next face of the WWE.
Here's my problem, okay? And I don't know if y'all got this here that I did. You made it sound like anybody can be a wrestler. Like, that's what he kept beating in our heads. He was like, you, and you, and you can be a wrestler. Not everybody can do this, okay? They're professionals. I don't like this idea of Tough Enough. I really don't. Call me old school, okay? But I believe you should go through all the training and work some indie matches and be somebody when you get on the Star Show. That's my thought on it. What about you, Mark?
Mike Manzani.
Okay, you just named one that got through the system without having to work his way up. All the other ones...
There's another one.
Roman Reigns.
No. Alright.
I thought we were talking about former Tough Enough contestants who worked their way up without being on the indie.
Ryback did work, though, on the indie scene, though, before he went to Tough Enough.
Let's not forget John Morrison did the same thing back when he was on Tough Enough. He didn't go through the indie circuit.
Okay, so John Morrison. Alright, we named about a handful of guys that have got through the system. I'm still old school. I don't like Tough Enough. TJ, do you like Tough Enough?
I liked it back in the day when they got Maven through it. That's when I loved Tough Enough. But after last year's waste of Tough Enough, I mean, the indie fan in me was upset on how they treated Matt Cross, because in their eyes he was too good for it. And I'm glad he's back on the indie circuit, where I think that's where he'll actually be utilized better. But I just hate the fact how you had that guy win, that Silent Rage guy, and then you never saw him again.
Wow.
No, you saw him get a stunner and a slap.
And then you never saw him again. It was a waste of a show, waste of money, and an honest-to-God waste of my time.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And your point about Matt Cross, anybody that watches Lucha Underground knows he is the most over guy by the crowd on that whole roster. So... Aside from Johnny Mundo and Prince Puma. You know what, though? I'd go a step further, man, because when he comes out there with Ivelisse, they are all about some Son of Havoc. They really are.
They really are. Even when he was a heel, they played him up so much, they just had to turn him face.
And then that whole thing where he finally dumped her and won the match, that roof flew off that joint. They were going nuts. Oh, man. Another guy they missed the boat on right there.
And another woman they missed the boat on.
So everybody listening to this podcast, Triple H told us all, you can be a WWE wrestler. You sign up for Tough Enough.
Yet you point so many.
Oh my God.
I will never forget what they did to Chris Hero and Willie Mack. It's just, my God.
By the way, Willie Mack, another guy killing it, Lucha Underground. Everybody tune in. It's going down over on Lucha. All right, Mark.
On El Rey Network. Get it.
Get it. If you ain't got it, find it online like I do, because I'm cheap. All right, go ahead, Mark.
So next we have a backstage segment with Triple H, and he's talking to Kane about how corporate Kane is no longer about brimstone and fire, and he can no longer be a demon. He's a corporate man now, and he has to put that stuff aside. Kane tells him that it's still in him, and that he can still be a monster when he chooses to, and he'll do it tonight.
Another weird segment where I've seen it 1,000 times. You just replace Triple H and Stephanie in and out. We've seen this promo 400 times. I don't think nothing of it. TJ, you got anything you want to add to it?
I find it funny how back in the day they used to say the Divas matches was the piss break. Anytime I see these promos, that's when I take mine.
There you go. Maybe I need to start doing that too. What's your thoughts?
I've been ready for Kane to hurry up and put back on the mask and leave the corporate suit alone, but I guess they like the slow burns.
Yeah, even when he puts on the mask, nothing's ever different. He just winds up losing to her where he's fighting.
Yeah.
Just give him back his barbed wire pants and let him be Kane again, and then everything will be right with the world.
Man, I wouldn't even do that. I'd make him stop talking completely. I'd have him disappear for like 6 months.
So you want to turn him into Abyss?
I'd turn him into Jacob Goodnight. That's what I would do.
God.
Just to hell with Kane. He would just be Jacob Goodnight. Coming back with the hook and everything. Damn it. That's what I would do.
I don't think the era is ready for that.
Yeah, probably not. That's why I would do it. Yeah, this segment was a waste. Mark, anything you want to add to it?
Nah, I mean, we can move on now to the females divas match between Naomi and Brie.
Naomi.
Hashtag give Divas a chance.
Give Divas a chance. Naomi, with a win over the Bella. I'm going to say that. TJ, you liking Naomi's heel turn so far?
Her heel turn is long overdue. I expected this from her before Cameron, because Naomi is yet another diva they have who is incredibly skilled. They're not joking when they say she's the most athletic. She can be technical. She has great mat skill. She's capable of going to the top rope. She has everything she needs. All she needed was this heel turn. Now what they need to do is take out that stupid rear view and just give her that submission she has, and everything's right with the world.
I believe that the booty is what brought her into the dance, so I gotta leave the booty in. I gotta leave that there. It's the money maker. But I agree it's a weak ass finisher. They gotta do something different. But let's also say that Naomi is a product of WWE Tough Enough debuting in the summer again, where anybody, including you, can be a professional wrestler. And that's how Naomi got in. So that works.
Yeah, I agree. The rear view needs to stop being the 3 count and go back either, like you said, with her submission, or even whenever she did the head scissor lock DDT to Natalya a couple times, it got the 3 count. That would be fine as a finisher. Just don't let me get the 3 count on the rear view.
Well, it doesn't really matter what our opinion is anyway, because Dan ruined that via Twitter. We won't be allowed to talk to Naomi. Thanks to him. Thanks a lot, Dan. Yeah. He was actually puzzled for weeks about why he was blocked, and then when he told me what he said, I said, guess what, Dan? I think I know why you were blocked. Just gonna put that out there.
I'm surprised it wasn't deleted from a comment like that.
Right. I'm surprised his whole profile wasn't shut down. Oh, my jeez.
No.
Alright, so
You tell me.
give Divas a chance. Guys, it seems like they really are having longer Divas matches every single week. You think we're gonna get to a point where we're having 2 Divas matches in a row?
I would like to see it, but we also got a 9.09 second Divas match, so I mean, it's hovering right around the 10-second or the 10-minute mark each night. So I mean, it's better than what they used to get.
All I say is take the title off of Nikki, and you're on the right track.
See, I love Nikki being the champion right now. Nikki is such a good heel. Oh my god.
So, are we going to see Naomi versus Nikki at Extreme Rules since Paige is off air right now?
I think so. Yeah, I think they
That's probably
rotate.
what's going to happen. They're going to sneak that match in, if not run it on SmackDown or something like that.
So do you put the title on Naomi?
Yeah.
And then have a returning Paige come?
Yeah, have returning Paige feud with her. That would be a perfect setup.
I don't think the Bellas need. My crazy idea is that if Lana has Rusev has Lana, then Cena needs Nikki Bella. Like, he needs to check my his side, too. That's what I would do with Nikki's out of this title picture. Because the WWE needs to stop insulting our intelligence. Like, we know they're together. We're not stupid, so...
We know that's really the only reason they're even back with WWE is because of who they date.
Exactly.
They might not put it out there to be disrespectful, but we know that's what's going on.
Not to say they haven't, performed.
They have improved greatly. I mean, when I first saw them, I'm like, okay, Bree is actually learning from Daniel. And again, as much BS as we give Cena, he's the definition of a workhorse.
Cena can work.
Just because he doesn't do the moves doesn't mean he's incapable of doing it.
Right.
I'm still marking out over the fact he hit a full Nelson neck breaker on Seth Rollins.
Yep.
He botched it a bit, but it proved he can do it.
I wish he would stop doing that stunner, though. I don't like it. It's ugly.
I don't like it as a setup. I would honestly prefer him if he did a crossbody or at least a lariat from it, but not a stunner.
Yeah, not a stunner. Anything but a stunner. Like, when he bounced out of it and did the crossbody, I'd be like, okay, that's a face move, and I can deal with it. But the stunner
is more of a lucha libre or a tweener move.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need big bulking John Cena. Cause you know what though? It's gonna be funny. You know what I say I don't like it? But I do, because y'all know that day is coming on Raw or SmackDown where they ain't gotta have time to edit it when it's live, and he's gonna bust his ass on those ropes. You know it's coming. He's gonna lose his balance and fall and bust the back of his head, and I am gonna laugh until I cry. Man. Oh, happy day. Alright, Mark. Next match.
So next we have Roman Reigns comes out and calls out the Big Show, tells him that he wants to have a fight right here, right now. And all of a sudden we get a returning Bo Dallas instead, who says that from his favorite episode of Star Wars, Episode 1, Yoda says to embrace the hate leads to the dark side. And then we get Roman Reigns pretty much just Superman punching him, and leads into Roman Reigns saying that he will be the last man standing at Extreme Rules, and that Big Show cannot back away from that fight, and you can believe that.
He didn't say it with the high pitch that Roman said it with. But Roman, if he improv that Bo leave part, then that was genius. Because when you look back at Bo and said it, I was like, okay, he has some kind of charisma going right now. Because until that, I'm sorry, man. You could have Big Show throw Roman Reigns through the stage, and I'm not going to get excited with this match. You know why? Because I've seen it 49 times. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get excited for it. Don't care. TJ, what do you think?
Can we just give kudos to WWE jumping on that promotional goal that is the upcoming Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
And the fact that the return of Bo Dallas, there is a slight chance we may get the brothers coming together as a team.
Oh, no.
And that if we want to see that happen, all we have to do is Bo leave.
I don't want that. Like, I don't know, your buddy Dan actually is under the belief that Bray Wyatt is worse than Bo Dallas. And I'm a believer. I'm one of the biggest believers ever.
I don't like the gimmick, but I know he has skill.
Bray Wyatt is so much bigger than Bo Dallas. Like, Bo Dallas does not need to be associated with Bray Wyatt anytime.
They did it. They were great as a tag team as the Rotunda Brothers over in OVW, and they had a lot of success there. I wouldn't mind seeing them at least chase the tag team titles together.
I just don't want them to refer to Bray Wyatt as being a Rotunda. Like, he needs to be Bray Wyatt. Like, he needs to be...
Well, they've already shown the fact that they will show that they're brothers, but they wouldn't really have to change a thing. Just have that opposite attract like team like you had with Jericho and Benoit years ago.
They might, eventually they're gonna do it because WWE's gonna run out of ideas, and that's gonna be like, that's what we're gonna do. I can't. The only way I can see it working is Bo became a Wyatt. That, but that, God, can you imagine Bo Wyatt? Oh my God, that'd be weird. You know what though?
In the buzzards.
Man. Well, that goes back to my point. That goes back to my point. I keep thinking about Bray, and I think we'll get into Bray here in a minute. But he really, really needs some followers. I don't give a damn if they make the Ascension his followers. He needs somebody that follows them damn buzzards, or else his words don't mean anything. Anyway, Mark.
Yeah, I don't want to see Bo and Bray together, but I mean, I guess, like Anthony said, I could take it if Bo Dallas gets kidnapped or something and then, like, brainwashed into becoming a follower of the Buzzards.
That'd be good.
That would be alright.
And I know Mark keeps waiting on the payoff for Kane, because they've never finished the Kane storyline either.
Oh, right.
So, Mark's been waiting for about 9 or 10 months now, and that will finish.
And could be that undercover follower.
Never know, man. Never know. He could be taking down the machine from the inside.
I swear.
Alright, Mark. What we got next?
Alright, so next we have a quick, and I do mean quick, sighting of Zack Ryder as he faces Sheamus.
This wasn't even Raw anymore. This was WWE Night of the Jobbers.
Yes.
I will get into that later, because Adam Rose even has a showing.
Yeah. This is the night when they told everybody, hey, if you ain't got a paycheck in a while, guess what? You're getting one, but you're going to pay the price for it. Because Zack Ryder, he got beat worse than those wrestling bodies we used to have when we were little kids, and you'd elbow it jumping off your bed. Yeah, Zack Ryder was that guy, except for Sheamus had a microphone, and he called his own match during it, which was even more badass. I never thought I'd say it in a million years. I cannot get enough of heel Sheamus. He does entertain me. I am entertained, Sheamus.
Heel Sheamus was the best Sheamus we ever had, and that's where he had most of his success.
With that being said, this Kiss My Arse match.
Nope, let's not get into this. Nope, they're trying to bring back the Vince McMahon Kiss My A Club. Let's not bring that back. Nope, no.
They didn't even give us a build up to this. Like, why are we having this match?
Because it's stupid.
I agree. Mark, what do you think of heel Sheamus?
I love heel Sheamus. What I love more is that he completely decimated and destroyed Zack Ryder, and then Dolph Ziggler comes in and hits him, and Sheamus still gets the victory.
That's awesome. That was awesome.
Right, this is the perfect way.
Here's problem number 2. Where the hell was Dolph Ziggler for the first 6 minutes?
He thought that his buddy Zack
and they have to build up Ryder getting his butt kicked to make that paycheck worth something.
Jesus.
No, I think that Dolph thinks that he could have manned up and he could have gotten out of it.
Exactly. Dolph was like, show me something, kid. Show me something.
Like, we all know you're actually skilled, we just never see you on television or house shows.
Yeah, he was in shock at the first 6 minutes.
Exactly. He was like, I'm just out here soaking it in. Oh, man.
He's another person who needs a heel turn desperately. Zack Ryder needs to turn heel desperately.
Zack Ryder needs to do anything to get on television, so whatever that takes for Zack Ryder.
Maybe he can actually turn heel on Dolph for allowing him to get his ass beat for that long.
Possibly. That's a good idea, Mark.
As much credibility as we give him for being United States champion, we know they only gave it to him as a mercy title.
Dude, I can't even explain why I think that they just thought that his YouTube thing was so popular that it was gonna
It was.
I mean, it was,
By
but
right,
you don't give him the...
By right, Ryder had a yes movement before Daniel Bryan.
But look where it took him. It took him to the United States title, and then he had a failed affair with Eve Torres, and then he got chokeslammed in a wheelchair by Kane.
No, see, what they did with Ryder in the United States Championship was the same thing they did with Mr. Kennedy in the United States Championship. Had him beat a stable guy, had him win a stable championship, only for him to get injured, get beat down, and then last but not least, pretty much thrown into oblivion.
Pretty much. Boy, that was back when anything you touched with John Cena meant you were going to the bottom quick. And John Cena was on your team, you were going nowhere.
Me be like, oh, you only won because Cena was on your team. No.
And then, by the way, when Cena's done with you, we don't have anything left for you. Have a nice day. Mark, what we got next?
Speaking of John Cena, next is his U.S. Open Challenge. And he said something in this Open Challenge that I thought was hilarious because he called out the jobbers. He called out the people that weren't going to do anything, that, like, all you people backstage that are low on the totem pole, that you're not having anything. And I kind of figured another jobber actually was going to come out.
We did get one.
We saw
I
so
thought
many.
Heath Slater was going to come out.
We got a jobber. We got Kane. We got a jobber. We got Kane. And
That was harsh.
yeah, it was worse. And you know how many times I've seen John Cena and Kane? About as many times as I've seen Roman Reigns' Big Show.
You better get Sensu Bean for that.
This
That
match
was
was-
just, my God.
You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of the 2 count. Like, and I know it's a big joke, John Cena kicks out at the 2. I'm tired of the other wrestler being out at 2 too, because when they kick out, it doesn't even get me excited anymore, because I know it's coming. Like, the 2 count should mean way more than it does in wrestling. That's my 2 cents on this match.
My 2 cents on the match is I can't wait for him to hit the tombstone finally.
I can't believe
My
it.
2 cents on this match is, I'm just glad the United States title is being defended.
I can't believe that they're building us up to the tombstone. Like this is something, man. Like, they're like, hey, you know, pretty soon Kane's gonna hit that tombstone. Where the hell were you 17,000 SmackDowns ago? He's done it 4 million times. We know he does it.
But he hasn't done it in like 5 years probably?
No, he's tombstoned plenty of people before then.
Last time we saw a tombstone was when Daniel Bryan got put out of that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
the
true.
neck.
That's
He
true.
tombstoned him
That's
on his
true.
neck like 17 times.
But wasn't that masked Kane?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that was Demon Kane. That wasn't Corporate Kane.
Yeah, Corporate Kane don't do that shit.
Even when he puts that... That is kind of true, right? I mean, every time he took Daniel Bryan out, he was wearing that mask. That's kind of crazy.
Exactly, because that was supposed to show his old evil side. To show kids, hey, he may wear a suit and tie, but he will kill you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he kills the Authority. That'll be the payoff, so...
I could see him, if Randy Orton wins, I could see Kane screwing Seth Rollins, and that would be the best thing ever.
Yeah, Randy, if Seth loses, it don't need to be cleanly. He needs to be screwed out of the title. Like, his plans need to backfire. That would be epic.
You know what my hype meter is saying? That we might see a Phoenix Splash from the top of the cage, and if we do, I am going to salute WWE.
He might do it, but he'll miss it. Either
No.
that...
Imagine if that gets caught into an RKO.
Yeah, exactly. He might try that into the RKO, which will be...
A disqualification on Randy's
Exactly!
part.
Yeah, you're out,
I
Randy.
would replace the shooting star KO that we saw years ago.
Well, he can't do it. Remember, there is no RKO in this match, so he can't do it.
Dang.
Yeah. By the way, why... Oh, my God. Like, they want us to buy this, right? They're like, but we're not going to let you see your 2 favorite moves. You can't see them. Pay for this pay-per-view,
Imagine
$9.99.
you can't see one ever again.
And by the way, this is my last rant on the network. To hell with you, giving all the new subscribers the free month every month. Why don't you just go ahead and tell us that every month is free for new subscribers? Stop telling me every single month that you got a special promotion. Because you don't. You're just trying to get new subscribers. Why don't we get any perks, huh? We've been for the network since the beginning. What do we get?
We should get a
$9.99.
t-shirt, damn it. We should get a t-shirt.
Yeah, you get a shirt, and then it's kind of like that whole thing from DBZ Abridged. Like, oh, your third time getting that free month, you get an ice cream sandwich.
Right. I just want to cancel a restart, and then I'll mean get the free stuff. Man. All right, Mark.
They're going to send you a complimentary John Cena t-shirt in the mail.
I need some new toilet paper, so that'll work out. All right, what we got?
So
Mark?
next we have Damien Mizdow,
Oh, geez.
who is going down the ramp with Summer Rae versus The Miz to determine who gets to keep The Miz's gimmick and entrance music and attire, apparently.
TJ, I will let you start because I haven't really when you're going to disagree. I did not like anything about this thing.
I love this match for 2 reasons. One, Miz is the only person who can actually pull this gimmick off because it's perfect for him. And two, the fact that Damian, by right, can no longer be Miz now. We get the intellectual savior of the masses back.
See, I don't think we do. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I don't think we're going to get the intellectual savior of the masses. Secondly, if you're not going to have the Miz around, why the hell did he win the match? I don't understand.
So he can keep being awesome. That's why he won the match.
He's not awesome if he's gone.
Can we congratulate Summer Rae on her good use of cosplay because she cosplayed as old girl from Dukes of Hazzard?
Yes, and anything to make her look better than she does. I'm not a Summer Rae girl or Summer Rae guy. I don't think she's that attractive. Call me crazy.
They're pretty much making her an American version of Maurice.
Yeah, which she's not, because Maurice is my first celebrity crush. So she is no Maurice.
Which leads me into my point about this. What is Maurice gonna think or do with her man being teamed up with Summer Rae whenever he comes back?
If we see Maurice back, I am going to mark out because her theme music was the funniest but catchiest theme music before Fandango.
You won't have to worry about marking out. I will be on criminal arrest because I will be a stalker officially. I will stalk her in every city she's at and lick her bathwater. She is gorgeous. My Lord have mercy.
You better pray the Miz doesn't hear this podcast.
I hope he does. Because I will tell him to his face he is holding my wife until I'm ready to take her back. So.
People say same thing about AJ Lee, but none of us are going to step up to Punk.
Well, that's, CM Punk could probably break me in half, so The Miz is just an actor. I'm not worried about him. So,
Alright, what's the next thing, Matt?
yeah, roll with it.
Alright, so next we have the Bray Wyatt promo where he talks about lifting weights. So we get another hint or another clue about who he might get, and that's probably...
I'm starting to think he's going after Roman Reigns.
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly who I thought too, but unfortunately for the Wrestling Dudes audience, this might be a spoiler coming, but if you notice, the guy who had a match right after the promo was the one and only Ryback. And I have a feeling that he is talking about Ryback.
But we thought the same thing, that Bray was going to go Dolph Ziggler because he said something about stealing the show, and then whose match was next? Dolph Ziggler.
He did say that last week too. That's very true. I'm hoping it's Roman Reigns, to be honest with you. I hope that Roman is who he attacks. Because Bray is not going to have a match at Extreme Rules. He's going to attack whoever he's talking about. I've heard it could be Randy. I could see it being Randy more than anybody. Cause he can,
I just want to see a spear get reversed into Sister Abigail, and I'm done for the night.
Oh my goodness. That would make my day. Oh my god.
So, since some people think that it might be Randy, and we do have Kane as the gatekeeper, they have a history together, and Bray has a history of ruining main event matches in cells and cages.
There's more connecting the dots. He just brought Bray Wyatt and Kane back together again. Wow.
Hey, somebody can wish, right?
Randy ends up being a Wyatt follower.
The voices told him. They told him to follow the buzzards.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm going to say that he's talking about Ryback. I hope not. But you know what, though? This is what I was talking about when me and Bart discussed it. If he faces Roman Reigns, he's losing. Roman is winning that every single time. If he fights Randy, he can win. And Randy can lose to Bray Wyatt, and it doesn't hurt him that bad. Ryback is a 100% loss. Bray Wyatt will meet him any day that ends in Y. So, I think Roman Reigns would actually... I'm not ready for that yet. I don't really want to see him fighting yet.
Alright. What's the next thing?
So next, speaking of Ryback, we have his match versus Adam Rose. Another non-Raw person on Raw.
Yep. Pretty much just a jobber segment.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this, and I know I've said this multiple times, especially to Dan. I do not care for this Adam Rose, Russell Brand gimmick, and I don't care if this was his choice. I'm not going to get excited until I see Leo Kruger come back.
Amen. I've said it every week. Dan is never ever going to come around. I've tried every way I know how. I actually had to change my profile picture for a month to Adam Rose because he was not fired within 6 months of being fired.
Yeah, you had to change your profile picture to Adam Rose and Justin Gabriel.
Yeah, insane. But at least I had that bunny looking evil, so that made me feel alright. As far as the match, the joke at the end was funny, I guess.
It's funny because it's food.
Yeah, that's great. And Rob,
it was a thing. Give him credit. He's trying to show charisma.
Yeah, Rob, it is what it is. I can care less though. Mark, anything?
How many people did they?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have WWE Night of the Jobbers.
Yeah, how many times did we?
Jobber winning.
How many times did we see somebody that normally doesn't have a microphone actually grab a microphone tonight? Because we had Ryback do it, we had Luke Harper do it, Roman Reigns cut a decent promo. It seemed like even Naomi's backstage promo.
Rarely got Sheamus on the microphone when he was a heel, so this was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Naomi cut a promo in the backstage talking about how she's going to take her spot now.
And you know what? We can say what
change her music now.
And we can say what we want about Kane being boring. Kane showed some passion in that opening segment with Randy Orton. We told him we could have picked Dean Ambrose if we wanted to. Hell, we could have made El Torito the champion. I was going crazy. I was like, wow. He is pissed off.
Is a Kane you want, not against you.
Exactly. And if you notice, Seth changed his tone right there, too. Seth started getting real...
Because he realized, oh, wait, we're not in character right now. This is not Kane talking to Seth. This is G talking to Kobe.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Kane went off. You could see that he was, very, very well improv acting, but he seemed pissed. Because he was spouting off people that they could have made Dean Ambrose champion if they wanted to, because they're the authority, damn it.
Well, that was the biggest shot. Is he said, you're nobody. We could have picked Dean Ambrose. Yes,
I don't think this was worked out. I think this was like a combination of actual script and actual frustration.
Maybe, man. Maybe Kane really was living, because he showed it, man. Whatever that Kane was, I want that Kane every week. Give me that.
I
think what he's having.
I also like the cheap, kind of slap in the face that he did to CM Punk when he called Seth a punk and said that title around your waist, we gave that to you.
Yeah.
Man, I thought it was the only one that caught that.
Yeah, I didn't. I went right over. I didn't catch it whenever he did it, but Mark did catch it, so y'all both picked up on that. I guess that'll lead us into...
Man.
Where we at the main event?
Yes. Dolph versus Seth.
Dolph and Seth. This is the match we were supposed to get last week. You can't go wrong with these two in the ring, right? Great match.
Not at all.
Great match as always. Mark, what's your thoughts on the ending?
I love the match. These two can go at it every single week. Seth Rollins, man, he can work, especially as a champ. Just the small little things that he does in the ring that just gets more heat over is great. As far as the ending goes, the new finisher, the little headlock facebuster or whatever it is, yeah, whatever.
The ending was cool with the cage being let down.
That was perfect.
We all knew Randy was somehow waiting. If you didn't, then you don't watch professional wrestling. But yeah, the RKO off the cage, holy mackerel. That made me sad that I'm not going to see that on Sunday.
Well, Seth did tell him to get it out of his system, and boy did he.
Boy, did he ever. Yeah, I was glad, and it was a good end of the night. We saw Randy get his payoff that he teased us about all night long. That's what I like about wrestling. When you build something up, you give me the whole 3 hours, give me a reason to watch for the whole 3 hours, and at the end of the third hour, pay it off. That's how you write a good show. I'm giving Raw a B plus. They did a solid week. With that said, Extreme Rules is not going to get a B plus. I promise. Mark, thoughts?
So I liked how at the end, because they had kind of preluded to it earlier in the night whenever Seth and Triple H kind of had their bickering back and forth. After the match, Seth cut a promo, and then Triple H walks down and grabs the mic out of his hands in order to say something. I forgot even what Triple H was saying. And then Seth grabbed the mic right back from him and was like, "Don't interrupt me." And then pretty much just went balls out about, "I don't need Kane. I don't need anybody else. This is my WWE, and I'm going to prove it this coming up Sunday." And then you hear Kane's music hit, which led into the cage being lowered down. I just think that Seth Rollins is going to eventually pretty much get the thumbs down from Triple H at some point in time.
Did y'all pick up on what I did, that Triple H tried to play both characters at the same time, like on Monday Night Raw? He tried to play the good guy and the bad guy.
Backstage speech to Seth.
Yeah, he tried to play the good guy and the bad guy both. And I don't like that. He needs to pick what character he's going to be and go with it.
No, because I can understand. Now, this is where we disagree, because I can understand him doing it just for this, because whether he's been face or a heel, he's passionate about the World Championship. He will always defend that title's legacy, whether face, heel, or tweener. And that's what a lot of people respect about Triple H, no matter what fan alignment he is, because he truly does cherish those titles.
Yeah, I can actually agree with that, because he's more COO. It's not really about Randy being the champ. It's not really about Seth being the champ. It's about whomever he wants to be the champ. And if you don't fall in line, as he said, if he doesn't get on the same page as Kane does, then they can just insert a new face.
Okay, but when Vince did this, you didn't have to guess what role Vince was. You knew. You knew who Vince was aligned with, and you knew he was going to go through hell or high water to make sure they won. I don't get that feeling with Triple H, man. I feel like...
Because he can just insert pieces whenever he wants to.
Yeah, but that's not what Seth Rollins should be. He should be the guy that he's the pedestal.
Plus, Triple H is always proving he can play both roles willingly. When you see him on Raw and SmackDown, he's seen as this curse upon WWE. But the moment you go on NXT, he's looked at as a god.
Yeah, sure. He really is.
Which also leads me to think that since Stephanie's taking this month off television, that maybe she'll take the more McMahon-ish role and become the heel authority figure, kind of like how Vince was. And Triple H might be the more face type. I don't really know.
I'm definitely
Kind of
hoping.
like how Vince was.
Yeah, they got to do a power struggle at some point. Maybe that'll come with the Ronda Rousey thing they got coming up at Mania. Who knows?
Man, that was perfect.
TJ, your grade on Raw, what would you give it?
With all these matches, and again, I'll say this one last time, hashtag Night of the Jobbers, I give this Raw a solid B minus.
Wow.
They could have done a lot more, but I'm glad with what they did. And they went above and beyond with I think the match of the night, besides Seth versus Dolph, because as we said, they can put on great matches, period. I honestly have to give another match of the night accolade to Cena versus Kane, because this showed Cena in a place he's not always used to. Normally when he has to face a guy who's thought of as a monster, there's heavy build-up. Rarely does he have to face one out the get-go, and this also showed that Kane is still capable in the ring.
Yeah, I guess so. Even though when Kane didn't make his return as Kane, it was a good John Cena. But that's, it was, for what it was, yeah, for a Raw match, especially for a Kane match, it really wasn't that bad. Yeah, I gave it mine already. That'll do it for this one, guys. We got Extreme Rules, and we'll be a Night of Champions, I promise. Extreme Rules is coming up this Sunday. We will probably have the review show right after the show. Maybe we'll get one out there. And if not, we'll have it on the Raw review coming up. You can follow us on @Goons Radio on Twitter, Wrestling Goons Radio for Facebook and YouTube. For myself and for Mark, we want to thank TJ for joining us, and we hope
No
hope to have you back again, brother. This was awesome.
Hey, I can't wait till the next time I'm on, no matter what type of show it is. If we're talking about Raw, a pay-per-view, heck, if we dedicate one to the indie circuit, you know where to find me.
That is what is up. So until next time, goons, we will see you on the flip side.